Welcome to the 21st episode of the SCC Online Weekly Rewind, where we curate the most important and interesting stories to keep you abreast of the latest developments in the field of law. Hi, I'm Nilufer Bhateja, and in this week I have brought highlights of some recent significant updates of the Supreme Court, the High Courts, and some legislation updates. Let us begin with some news on the Supreme Court. A division bench of the Supreme Court has upheld the order of Chief Judicial Magistrate Thiruvananthapuram, who refused to consent to the application filed by the public prosecutor under Section 321 of CRPC for withdrawal of a criminal case filed against 6 MLAs in relation to the ruckus and damage of public property caused by them in an unfortunate incident that occurred in the Kerala Legislative Assembly in March of 2015. Earlier, the Kerala High Court too had affirmed the order of the Chief Judicial Magistrate. All attempts of the accused MLAs seeking to claim impunity under Article 194 of the Constitution of India were rejected by the Supreme Court, while observing that privileges and immunities are not gateways to claim exemptions from the general law of the land, particularly as in this case the criminal law which governs the action of every citizen. In another case, the Supreme Court upheld the Rajasthan High Court's order whereby it had directed that criminal proceedings against the accused lower division clerk be squashed for want of requisite sanction under Section 197 CRPC. The Supreme Court held that in cases where a question of requirement of sanction under Section 197 arises, the real test is to check whether the act committed by the public servant was directly concerned with the official duty. In another case, the Supreme Court has reiterated that a letter of intent merely indicates a party's indication to enter into a contract with another party in future. There is no binding relationship between the parties at this stage, and the totality of the circumstances have to be considered in each and every case. The court was deciding whether, in the facts of the case, the respondent, successful bidder who was awarded a tender by the appellant, the South Eastern Coalfields Limited, was liable for the execution of work by another contractor at the risk and cost of the successful bidder. In another case, the Supreme Court has dismissed a batch of miscellaneous applications which were filed by the telecom service providers for allowing rectification of clerical and arithmetical errors in the amputation of the adjusted gross revenue or the AGR dues. The court was of the view that though the instant application appeared to be incautious at first blush, the end result of the relief sought by the applicants in the guise of correction or rectification of the defects or arithmetical errors in calculation of AGR dues would be recalculation, which would amount to alteration in the AGR dues. Now let us have a look at the case from the Supreme Court of the United States, where while looking into the question whether the city of Philadelphia violated the First Amendment by discontinuing to refer deprived children to the Catholic Social Services on account of its refusal to certify same-sex couples to foster parents due to its religious beliefs about marriage, the court held that the refusal of Philadelphia to contract with the Catholic School Services for the provision of foster care services unless they agree to certify same-sex couples as foster parents violates the free exercise clause of the First Amendment. The Kerala High Court invoked the doctrines of parens patriae while permitting the termination of 8 weeks of pregnancy of a medically unsound rape victim. In this case, the hapless rape victim was found wandering and was taken by the police initially to a psychosocial rehabilitation center and then to the mental health center. As the letters of the victim could not be traced, the superintendent of the mental health center apprised the plight of the victim to the District Legal Services Authority, and the writ petition was filed on that reference, seeking orders to grant permission for medical termination of pregnancy of the victim. The Delhi High Court, in a very interesting matter, has set aside the order of the Central Council of Indian Medicine, whereby the number of doctors teaching at various Ayurvedic colleges were handed decertification for working outside their state of registration. As per the orders of CCIM, teacher codes of more than 100 teachers were withdrawn and they were debarred from undertaking teaching activities in the Ayurvedic BAM centers. Court held that the orders were vitiated for non-compliance of the principles of natural justice, as they were not preceded by a properly worded show cause notice, and the individual justifications were not reflected, and documents and evidences adduced by the concerned teacher demonstrating his status as a regular full-time faculty and not a paper teacher were not adjudged. In a matter regarding compassionate appointment, the Karnataka High Court made a very significant observation that children that were born out of void and voidable marriages under other personal laws where there is no provision for conferment of legitimacy must also have equal protection of the law by treating them on par with children born out of void and voidable marriages under the Hindu Marriage Act or the Special Marriage Act of 1954, insofar as the appointment on compassionate basis is concerned, as interpreted under the regulations under consideration and in light of the judgment of the Supreme Court in the case of Union of India versus B.R. Tripathi. The Punjab and Haryana High Court, while answering the question as to whether compelling an accused to give voice samples would amount to self-incrimination and is hence violative of Article 20, Subclause 3 of the Constitution, observed that the infringement of fundamental right to privacy cannot be raised to create a bubble to scuttle the investigation, nullifying the evidence collected by merely denying that the voice of the tapped phone calls is not of the petitioners, and there being no comparables. The High Court held that the directions to take voice samples does not infringe upon Article 20, Subclause 3 of the Constitution of India. In a very significant decision, the Calcutta High Court has expressed that children and their spouses living in the senior citizens' house are at best licensees, and the said license comes to an end once the senior citizens are not comfortable with their children and their families. In a petition wherein the agriculturalists voiced their grievance with regard to the destruction of the crops in their agricultural lands on account of large-scale intrusion of wild boars from the forest, the Kerala High Court has directed the Chief Wildlife Warden to permit farmers to hunt wild boars to prevent destruction of crops. SEBI imposed a monetary penalty of Rs 3 lakhs on Gyan Industries and its promoters under provisions Section 15 of SEBI Act for violating various regulations of SEBI and the prohibition of insider trading regulations of 2015. In a very interesting case pertaining to medical negligence, the NCDRC has remarked that at times the professionals that at a time the professional is confronted with making a choice between the devil and the deep sea, and he has to choose the lesser evil. The medical professional is often called upon to adopt a procedure that involves a higher element of risk, but which he honestly believes as providing greater chances of success for the patient, rather than a procedure involving lesser risk but higher chances of failure. Further, the Commission observed that the duty of a treating doctor is to decide the method of treatment depending on the condition of the patients and the circumstances of each case. Thus, it cannot be construed as medical negligence. Now let us come to the legislation updates. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has notified the Income Tax 21st Amendment Rules of 2021 on July 29th, and rules for e-furnishing of forms, returns, etc. have also been introduced. On July 29th, the government has announced 27% reservation for the other backward classes or OBCs and 10% quota for the economically weaker sections or EWS in the All India Quota Scheme for the undergraduate and postgraduate medical, dental courses, and also MBBS, MD, MS, Diploma, BDS and MDS courses for the year 2021 and 2022 onwards. On July 28, the IFSCA has sought public comments on the proposed International Financial Services Centre Authority Capital Market Intermediaries Regulations or 2021. The object of the regulations is to enact a comprehensive regulatory framework for the intermediaries in the capital markets operating in IFSC, focusing on ease of doing business and consistent with the fundamental principles that are laid down in the IOSCO. On July 28th, the Union Cabinet has approved amendments to the Limited Liability Partnership Act or the LLP Act of 2008 via the Limited Liability Partnership Amendment Bill of 2021 in order to accelerate the ease of doing business for companies, and amendments to Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation via the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Act of 2021. This is to provide account holders access to up to Rs 5 lakh funds within 90 days of a bank coming under moratorium. The Kerala government has issued a circular which directs all male government employees to furnish a declaration to their heads of departments within 1 month of their marriage that they have not taken any dowry, via a circular dated July 16th, which is issued by the Women and Child Development Department. The note dowry declaration has to be signed by the employee's wife, her father and father-in-law. The decision comes after the Kerala has faced various horrendous dowry related deaths in the past few weeks. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more updates.